Yeah. We are back. And we have a very special guest today. You guys don't even know about this guy, but I mean, everybody knows. He's a ruler. He runs everything in OC. We got Mr. Shahab Elmi in the house. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Goddamn, boy.
It's an honor to be here.
It is an honor to have you here. And my co-host today, we got Mr. Omar. Thank you for coming through, baby.
I got you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Omar put on size since the last time I saw him.
Yeah, a little bit.
I think it's the white shirt, really.
It's the Cymbiotika products.
That's what it is.
Oh, listen. Hey, stop trying to plug shit in.
The sign came up right behind him. It was perfect. The timing
was perfect
great.
timing. Yeah. Cymbiotika. So, Mr. Shahab, we go back, I don't even know how many years. Probably over 20 years.
No, way over 20. Maybe 25, 26.
Yeah. Damn.
Long time.
We had some good times together. I know you have a very busy life. I know this guy is very busy all the time. Tell us a little bit about your whole come up.
First of all, it's great to see you more than anything else.
Thank you.
Omar too, but
well, you just saw him, so it doesn't really matter.
But there's Omar's a great friend.
Yeah.
But Ali, you're your brother. It's
OG man, we go back.
Ali and I have had a lot of history, man. A lot of history.
A lot of good times.
I'm so proud of you as a man, as what you've accomplished. It's so.
Bro, I look up to you every day. Honestly.
Look, man.
And even this guy, I mean, I look up to him sometimes. He's a little softer, but since we were young, you were always on the grind. I remember high school. I mean, it never ended. Every time you were just running shit. And we were partying and you were working, and look where you're at now, bro.
I appreciate it.
So tell us.
It's been a ride, man. So, my wife, my wife really well.
Of course.
My wife, Duran, actually knows Ali longer than I've known Ali. They've known each other maybe 4 or 5 years before. She's been pivotal. We were just talking about this before the podcast started. I met her 23 years ago and changed my life, brought clarity to what I want to accomplish in my life. And, yeah, I was grinding since high school, but there's a difference between grind and then having a plan. Like, I think that's one of the biggest challenges a lot of young people have, mistakes they make, is they get caught up in the grind, which I respect. I get it. The hustle, look, everyone who hustles, I respect. I totally respect it. But you got to be honest with what you're trying to accomplish in your life.
Yeah.
What you really want in your life.
Yeah.
And there's variations to this game, right? Hustlers you'll get money, you'll get by, you'll have some fine things in life. The next evolution of a hustler is people who are well off. After that, you got people who are rich, then you got people who are wealthy, and then you got generational wealth. So there's a big spectrum in that game.
Yeah.
And so, like, one of the most important things is to identify where you want to end up on that spectrum. And that's an honest conversation people don't want to have with themselves, because it's not a pretty one. If you're really honest with yourself, it's not a good discussion. It's a tough discussion, because there's a push and pull on what you're willing to sacrifice to get from each level to the next level.
100%.
And so it's not for the faint of heart. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit today.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I know you mentioned the plan, right? But being an entrepreneur, like, making that plan is kind of hard. It's just where you originally saw yourself going to where you are today, right?
Yeah.
It's probably completely different, right? As growing up and, getting into the hustle, what was your original vision compared to now? Because I'm sure it's changed quite a bit, right?
Well, like, when Ho and I were hustling, it was just to get by, really.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I remember Ali and I had a side hustle.
We did.
Like, can I say this without?
I don't know.
I think we're past the statute of limitations. We can't.
That was 20 years ago.
That was 20 years ago.
California's
so
10 years, right?
we found a little loophole where you could buy these prepaid cell phones from 7-Eleven, and then we would take the packaging off, and then we'd put them in, like, standard white packaging, and then export them to Canada, and you make like a 40% markup on them.
I forgot
so
about
Ali and I
that.
and one of our other friends, I won't mention his name because he's a little private. What I'm talking about. Yeah. We made going to every single 7-Eleven, like, within 200 miles of driving.
We cleaned them out.
And we made a bunch of money, right? But all those tactics, all the hustling we did was just to really get by.
Yeah.
Like 10 grand here, 5 grand there, 20 grand there. But once I got married and I made a decision in my life that I want more than that, than just to get by. And then that evolved to, these are the things I really want in my life. And by the way, there's no plan. Like, there's no strategy that says, if you do these 5 things, you're going to crush it.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty amusing to me. If you go on Instagram late, everyone's selling some kind of plan.
Yep.
And
that shit drives me crazy,
dude,
bro.
Fuck, man.
All these motherfuckers. Oh, my God.
18-year-old
The old me, we want to go beat some of these guys' ass. Because what they're doing to these young people is criminal. And again, no offense to anyone out there who's making money by doing this. And you got to do what you got to do, I guess. But you could do commercial real estate, follow these 7 steps, and you'll be rich. Yep. Regular real estate, you could flip cars, you could flip watches. Anything you can imagine, someone's selling a strategy for.
Yeah.
But that's not how this game works. Nope. If it was a 5-step process, first of all, no one would sell it to you for $29.99.
Yeah.
Okay? It wouldn't.
Take my program.
It doesn't work. So the plan is just an idea of where you want to get to as far as what you want in your life and what sacrifices you're willing to make to get there. That's all the plan is. Yep. The rest of it, you can do anything and be well off, rich, with generational wealth or wealth, right? You can do all of these things to get there. This business that you guys have here, as long as you can scale it, that's really the key. Yeah. Whatever you do, it's got to be scalable, and you got to have money that you can make without being there. Yep. That your own horsepower doesn't have to drive the wealth.
Yeah.
And there's, you can hear different ways to describe that. There is residual income, there's passive income, whatever you want to describe it. It's money that you can make and scale without you physically having to use your physical time to do so. Yeah. And so it doesn't matter what business it is. You could do anything. There's billionaires out there who, from every spectrum of the planet, go look at the top billionaires list, Forbes 500, Forbes 100, and you'll see they're like all over the place. There's not one standard industry. If there was a 5-step process, they all do the same thing. Yep. Yeah. It's not the case. It's about sacrifice.
Agree.
Sacrifice is huge. Would you say throughout your journey you had to make a good amount of different sacrifices to get to where you're at? Some sacrifice. I mean, I think that's one of the key components that's overlooked because people think about sacrifice as just time, right? But there's so many things that go wrong in business. Recently, I had to sacrifice a friendship that was very, 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 important to me because business went wrong, right? And it's just a part of the process. There's so many different, variables that come into play with sacrificing, and like some of them very heavy on you. Some of them kind of scar you for life with, high level business, like you're doing, 9-figure business, it's a 10-figure business, I feel like that's something that's not really talked about. People are like, oh, I sacrifice my time. I work 18 hours a day. Yeah, but anyone can show up. It's the real sacrifices, whether it's not showing up to your kid's recital, not being there for your wife, this, that, friends, family, cousins, funerals.
It's all of it. Yeah, it's all of it. It's sleep. It's your health. And so, like, I made a decision a while back that I'm not willing to make the sacrifices to make $1 billion. That doesn't matter. That doesn't mean my company can't get to $1 billion. We're gonna get close actually the next few years. I think.
Yeah.
I think we're pacing that way. But I'm not willing to sacrifice what it takes to become this multi-billionaire because all those people have made it to that level. One, it's not like hate against them. They're savants at what they do. To get to that creme de la creme level, you're mad respect to you. But you're sacrificing a lot. Your relationships with your family, your time with your kids who never get back.
Yep.
Your time with your parents. We're all close to our parents.
Yep.
That's
very
not
close.
That's not finite. There's an expiration date to that. And so how much are you willing to give up to get what you need? And so those are the conversations that people have to have, which are uncomfortable. Like I have people around my inner circle that I love to death, but they're seemingly always struggling because they don't want to make the sacrifices. They want everything in the world without paying the price for it. There's pain and suffering involved, and you got to embrace the pain. Like you got to love it.
You do.
Like I love the pain. And then the second thing is you got to get comfortable with failing. Like every time I hear effing podcast, it's someone who sits down and tells this linear story about how they were great from day one to now. Every decision they make was phenomenal. That's such bullshit.
It is.
There's not a single entrepreneur who's done well, and it's always
has not failed.
Has not failed.
Yeah.
In fact, Ali, the best lessons of my life.
I mean, you guys have seen me go up, down, up, down.
No, all of us.
Shit happens. Yeah.
All of us.
Everybody.
We know this because we're so close.
Yeah.
But most people don't share that stuff because they think it's some kind of weakness.
Yeah.
Like, and it shows that they're not that brilliant.
Yeah.
But every valuable lesson I've learned in my business life or in life in general really comes off of a failure. Mainly because if you make a tactical decision and it doesn't work out, you knew that was the wrong one.
Yeah.
The crazy part is people think you learn a lot from your good decisions, but how do you know they were good? Like I can make a call of business and say, we're going to invest X, Y, Z into this marketing campaign.
Yep.
And it returns 20% profit. That's fucking great, right? We made great. But how do we know if we hadn't done something else, it would have been a 40% return or 80 or 100% return? So you don't necessarily learn a lot from the good decisions because you don't know how great they were. But when they're wrong, you know they're wrong.
Yeah.
So I felt a lot. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm proud of it. I wear the badge of honor.
Hell yeah.
Like
So do I.
It's like a scar. All of us should. But you should talk about it. Like I know you do.
I have. Yeah, because this whole podcast we talk about, it's not about, I'm just Rich or all these guys came. I mean, most of the people that we've had here came from like nothing. We all worked our asses off. We kind of failed a lot, learned a lot, and kept growing. So we don't talk about, oh, it's just an easy life. Fuck no, it's never easy, bro. I mean, my brother knows, he sees me go through all the ups and downs, and I see him, and I mean, there's a lot. I know his shit. I mean,
all of us.
all of us been through it. So yeah, it's definitely something.
But but the reason it's so important to talk about is, I know why you've created this podcast to inspire others, right? And if you really want to inspire others, because people are going to, younger folks especially, will start this entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah.
And when they fail, it's not if. When they fail, it's important to know that this is how the game is.
It is.
It's not unique to you because you fell. All of us ate shit. Shit multiple times. But if they know that going in and what happens, they're not shell-shocked. Like, okay, cool, I was listening to Ali. Ali told me this was going to happen.
Yeah.
All good, I'm going to learn from it and keep going.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like, I think at least once every 3 months, I have this, like, panic where I'm like, yo, my company's going under. Every couple of months where I'm like, yo, this company's going under. Where in my head, mentally, I'm like, yo, I quit. I'm done. But I just have too much of an ego to admit it. You know, I can't say it out loud. In my head, I'm crushed.
This guy texted me yesterday and was like, I have so much anxiety. I'm not doing this shit no more.
It's like
I was like, you ain't getting out.
Exactly. It's like, like in my head, I'm like, oh, dude, I quit. I'm done, this and that. But I just have too much of an ego to actually tell people, you know? And it happens all the time where it's like, hey, like I got crushed, but true entrepreneurs, you'll get back up and running. You can't, maybe for a day, 2 days, you're like, sometimes it hits you so hard where you're like, yo, I'm going to put an application at McDonald's, being a manager. I'm done with this shit, right? I'm done with this. And then a couple days goes by and you're like, I can't. I got to get back on the grind, you know?
Yeah.
And it's, I think it's one of those things, it's like a mental battle. Like true entrepreneurs in your head every single day, this, that, especially when you're playing with high-level business, one user error can cost you everything. Literally, one little user error can cost you your whole business that you spent 10 to 20 years, you know, building up. And people don't understand that because the bigger your company, you know, the margins go lower, right? Like you make one little error. And I've seen this a lot of times where people, you know, overestimate their abilities, you know, and it happens all the time. You see, you know, multi-billion-dollar companies failing overnight, and you're like, how? Like, it looks so great from, you know, the outside, you know, the front office end of it looks amazing. I've been buying their products, and overnight, boom, they're out. You know, it happened to Sears. Sears was an empire. No one ever saw Sears, and then Walmart came. Sure. Walmart's like, oh, dude, it's amazing, and then Amazon came, you know? It's interesting that, you know, the evolution of business with, like, you know, that's the retail side of it. And, I mean, with Cymbiotika, you know, Cymbiotika is huge, you know. Like, even, you know, before, like, Shahab told me about it and stuff, I had a friend from Canada, you know, kind of tell me about it, and I tried it. I was in the naturopathic, you know, supplement industry for a little bit, and I tried Cymbiotika, you know. I was like, let me give it a shot. My friend told me to try it. I was like, okay, why not support the business, right? I tried it. Within 4 to 5 days, I started feeling better. It was, what was it? It was like the B12. It was like the B12. I tried it instantly, you know, because usually when you think of supplements and stuff like that, you're like, I'm going to take it. Your body absorbs.
There's so many of them.
Yeah, there's so many.
And you don't even know who to trust. You're like, everyone comes up. This guy's trying to make me buy his. Like,
I was in the industry for a little bit, man. And it's like everything now, it's such a crazy industry where everything's unregulated, right? Yeah. It's like, you don't know what you're getting from China that has preservatives and like neurotoxins and this and that. And, you know, having people like you who are setting tomorrow's standards today, it's amazing, you know. And like, I think people are a little more aware of it now with social media and stuff like that, with, you know, Eastern medicine. Western medicine, I used to go to my doctor. My doctor's like, take a Tylenol, but take some turmeric and ginger. I'm like, why would I take the turmeric and ginger? He's like, just take it, you know. And so I feel like companies like, you know, Cymbiotika, like going back to the B12, I felt it. I really felt that, you know, that boost of energy within, you know, it wasn't within 24 hours. I'm not going to sit here and lie. Like, after taking it for 2 to 3 days, I felt it. Yeah. I felt this kind of, like, bliss feeling of, you know, being uppity. And, you know, it's good to have, you know, something like that in your routine. It's almost mandatory, and people overlook it.
I mean, Cymbiotika is a good example of what we're talking about, where it's on the surface is linear. Everything's been great. So we're going through this round of funding soon, KPMG, and
congrats.
Thank you. We have this amazing valuation. It's going to be fantastic. My hair might grow back. It's that level of money.
We don't need hair, bro. No. We're bald and beautiful.
Hey, aerodynamic.
Hey. You already know.
You know what it is but if you live the life like we have, the ups and downs, if we drew a graph of the true ups and downs, they've been dramatic. It's been like this.
Yeah.
where 1 week is everything's fantastic. 1 week we're pain and it's just pain and suffering.
Yeah.
I'm not sleeping at nights. That's my biggest problem. I don't sleep. And it's not a badge of honor. I got to get better at it. But the ebbs and flows of this industry cause that stuff. Your brother was asking me, why I retire after this, because I want my health to be priority, so I can be around for my girls.
Oh,
right?
for sure.
And so if you're living this entrepreneur life to the fullest, it takes a toll on your body, on your soul, on your mind, on everything.
Sorry about the sound.
That's okay.
They're just dropping off one of the Lambos.
Oh yeah, there it is. Which one is that one?
It's just a emerald green one.
I hated mine. I hated it.
Oh, you had it vented.
I had SVJ.
It's kind of a.
I had
pain in the
SVJ,
ass.
and the problem was because the big old engine's right behind, you can't hear anything.
No.
So I would take my wife to dinner, we would talk, and we wouldn't hear anything. It was like sign language. It looked great in valet though. That's the best valet car you could ever have.
No other car looks as good as that car anywhere. I don't care who says what.
No.
Most beautiful car there is.
It's until that new one is coming, right? What's it called? The new Lambo?
It just came out.
What's the name of it?
I forget.
Yeah,
but
that thing is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the Vanador at valet, there's nothing
Sick.
like it.
Yeah,
No,
no.
it's a super aggressive looking car. It
Yeah.
stands out.
It's the lines.
Anywhere you go.
Like, sorry, go ahead.
So, anyways,
I don't wanna cut you.
I'm always, I push this theme every time I have a chance to talk, because I want people to be excited about being entrepreneurs. Don't be scared of taking this risk. Mark Twain has a quote that says, success can be found on the other side of fear.
Yep.
So once you get past your fear,
Yep.
you take a chance. Like all of us, at some point, all of us had a normal job, right?
Oh yeah.
And then once you take that push and you're like, whatever happens, happens, it's a freeing feeling, man. You feel liberated, bro.
Yeah.
Like you feel like you can take on the world, and then you take some bumps and bruises, but you're still there. You're still standing.
Yeah.
And that you get further confidence. That starts to build over time. You know what I mean? And this is my 5th company now. We've had 3 exits. Dash Radio still crushing.
Yeah.
And we have Cymbiotika now. So, once you got some confidence and momentum behind you, then you become really dangerous. And when you're dangerous, then
Yeah.
That's
There's
when
no
the
stopping you, bro.
that's when the magic happens.
Yeah.
Is when you're dangerous.
It is, but so to get to that point of being dangerous, would you say you had some mentors or people that influenced you in life?
Yeah.
Because like this is, we kind of touched on this earlier, right? Is the whole mentors, like there's these little self-made gurus that are 18 years old selling programs. I think that's where people kind of sway, because the thing is, every mentor I've had in my life that's actually been beneficial, they've never asked me for anything. They told me, hey, Omar, I see a younger version of myself in you.
Yeah.
Let me help you out.
Yeah.
They haven't taken a dollar from me, because if they're actually successful in what they do, they don't need your money.
Well, that's not a mentor. Like a mentor, like a real mentor, isn't helping you because they want your money. It's
Yeah.
a con artist.
Yeah.
Like the guys around my life who really helped me. Some of the best times I've had were at AT&T. I worked there for 13 years. I was an executive there. And you remember my days there.
I remember.
But
And
what's funny?
Anytime AT&T, I'm like, Shahab, I need a new phone.
yeah, iPhone time. Hold this.
When I was working at the corporate stores, we'd always see Shahab Elmi, Alyssa Moore. They were like the directors. And
Yeah.
I was at the corporate store, and I'd see his name all the time. And then fast forward a couple of years, now we're good friends. It's
Yeah.
so funny how
It's crazy.
like, everything, the world gets smaller as you grow. It's insane.
Well,
man.
you've also made the right moves too.
Yeah.
That's to your credit. But that time, I wouldn't say it was beneficial from a business perspective, because you can't learn how to be an entrepreneur working in corporate America. There's no correlation between the two.
Yeah.
But I worked with some of the best leaders in the world, and those people became my big brothers to this day. Like Andy Shibley, Glenn Leary, Ralph De La Vega, who was the vice chairman, who's now on the board of American Express. Like, these are folks who I can contact and pick their brain.
Nice.
And
Can you give me an American Express card?
like,
Because they cut me off.
did you? Why?
When I was young, bro. Come on.
Oh, you bought too many hair products?
We
or
can,
what?
Yeah.
we can talk offline. We can talk offline. So mentors do matter. Mentors matter because, especially when you're first generation immigrants like us, there's a system in play here that we're not privy to. Like, we didn't grow up on this system.
Yeah.
Our dads, our dads are all amazing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God bless all of them. They're fantastic
sure.
fathers. But they don't know the system either,
No.
because they came here, they were like 40 years old.
Yeah.
And so for them, this was brand new to them. We're trying to learn how to speak English.
Yeah.
The system, learn the system as fast as freaking possible. When they say there's systemic racism, the racism part is around the system that's not taught to everyone.
Yep.
So the system is fair play for all of us. We can all participate, but only a very small group of people know how to play it. And so learn the system, because the system around taxes, around expansion, around leveraging debt. Like, how many times did you learn about leveraging debt at all at any point in your life? Like, someone sits you down like, here's how you leverage debt. There's nothing more important in scaling a business than leveraging debt. That just means use someone else's money
Yeah.
to scale your business without spending your own money.
Yep.
Like, that's a fucking powerful thing.
I'm waiting for a check from Omar.
But what I'm saying, think about how fucking powerful that concept is, but no one ever talks about it.
Yep.
And look at most of these guys, most of the top end billionaires that pay very little, almost no tax legally.
Yeah.
How did they do it? Where's that taught? Go see your local H&R Block. They're not teaching you that there.
Nope.
Like, like Liberty Tax is not teaching you that. So learn the system as quickly as possible. Do it legally along the guidelines. But that system is powerful. And so hopefully our kids now will know, because we're going to teach it to them.
Yeah.
But first-generation immigrants, that's why mentors are so important, because we don't know any better. No. And then, unfortunately, most of us, when we come to this country, we hang out with what? Each other.
Yeah.
And then so, like, there's no additional information being learned, because now we just teach each other what our parents taught us, which is, like, be a good person, work your butt off, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
But it's nothing about the system.
Just go work your ass 9 to 5, go home, pay your bills, and
don't
call
cheat,
it a
be
day.
honest, and that's,
No,
be a good
it's very true, because a couple months ago, I was grabbing sushi with Shahab in San Diego, right? And we had
Glad I got that invite.
Yeah, no, you were.
You got an invite. You didn't come the other one, so.
Yeah. So it was literally a 10-minute car drive. Within 10 minutes, Shahab, me and him are just shooting the shit, right? He taught me how to exit the company and get 3 extra points, on selling the company, 3xing it, right? I didn't know about having proprietary software, boosting it, this, that, having everything internally, right? Because I was trying to exit out of one of the companies too, and he's like, no, you got to do X, Y, Z, this. Within a 5-minute conversation, he just taught me so much that I would have never learned. But that's his experience. Like, he learned that over having 5 successful exits, right?
3,
like, yeah. 3, sorry. There are 5 companies, 3 exits, right? So it's crazy what a 5-minute conversation can do with the right person, right? And
100%.
I see Shahab and Durana, right? They're kind of bridging this gap of putting our community together, right? And I see it every time I've been to one of his events or to his house or hanging out with them. It's amazing, because it's crazy, because everyone's already, like, vetted, right? Everyone over there is good people, good vibes, and the amount of knowledge you learn from hanging out with the right people is insane. Like, if we hang out for 4 hours, it's like 2 years worth of knowledge, right? But we're all having a good time. No one's trying to hustle anyone, but it's just, clear, good intentions of helping each other. And they kind of built this ecosystem in Orange County and San Diego, in LA and stuff like that, where it's really nice. It kind of, it's one of those things I think it's kind of key too, is having, like, a tribe behind you in, like, modern day entrepreneurship, and
one of the things is just be careful as you start to do well in life, introducing new people into your world, because they come with an agenda.
Always.
That's why, like, our friends have been the same friends for 25 years. I'm not interested in new friends. I'm just really not. I don't have the time for it. And the people I love hard. Like, I love Ali. I don't think it makes me less of a man to say I love this man. I do anything
and
for
we
him.
we always show a lot of love to each other, and I know, even though we don't hang out all the time and see you all the time, I know if I needed something, I called you, I know you're going to fucking drop everything and be there for me.
I wish like it was the old days and we'd hang out 4 or 5 times a week.
Yeah.
But life's changed.
Yeah.
But he's my guy, right? And our group of friends, those are my guys. And I'll do anything for this group. But just be very weary of when people just show up in your life out of nowhere, because everything is public now, right? You're publicizing your success, as you should, because when you publicize your success, it leads to other opportunities.
Yep.
But you got to be cautious, because not everyone has this relationship. Not everyone wants your well-being. Yep. We talked about some. Don't mention names. We talked about some of those break-ins and those robberies right before this podcast.
Yep.
Yeah.
That happens because those guys were publicizing what they got, and there's people out there,
for sure,
they got to do what they got to do.
Yeah.
And so, just very, very weary and careful of who you let in your inner circle. I'm not adding anyone. We got full capacity. The Shahab Elmi Club is full. Yeah. We don't have any more room for any new friends. We have business acquaintances. We got partners, business folks, find investment opportunities, but that's different.
What would you say is like the limit of what you can publicize, right? So it's you want to publicize enough to market yourself and to kind of, get yourself out there, but there's certain things you don't want to do. You do, like, speaking back to our parents, my parents are always like, yo, don't post this, like, be secretive, right? But they also don't understand that's how we network nowadays, right? With social media, this and that. Like, I can't keep up with everyone anymore. How I keep up is I just go on Instagram or TikTok and I see what people are doing. And I'm like, oh, he's in this industry now too. Let me hit him up, right?
Yeah.
And then people, I don't know about every culture, but with the Middle Eastern, evil eye. That's huge. Don't post that evil eye. And then if something happens the next day, your mom's like, or dad's like, I told you not to post that. So that's why you got into that car accident with your Ferrari.
I'm not sure if I believe in that. My wife makes me wear this thing to block the evil eye, but I don't. But I will tell you, this is a tough question, because a lot of people's industries have to do with social. Like,
Yeah.
Poe has to use, like,
I have to.
it's a big part of what he does. You see these amazing cars, man, you kind of want to go drive in this. What is this?
Huracan Evo.
Huracan Evo, yeah. You want to drive this Evo. You want to drive all these incredible cars he always has over here. And so it's part of his world. But you got to, there's a balancing act. I don't ever post a single private plane flight we take. Like, I don't. What's the upside for me?
Yeah.
It's not part of my job. And you want people.
And you're not selling courses.
You're not selling courses, and I'm not selling airplanes. So, like, unless you're selling that thing you're posting, don't post it.
Yeah.
I don't post my cars. I don't post my watches. None of that stuff, because I'm not. What's the upside for me versus the downside? And so you got to be really, really careful. It's so easy to get people to address this too.
Oh yeah.
Talked about my other friend recently. I don't want to mention names. Who had a home invasion, had to sell all of his cars. Beverly Hills guy, multi-millionaire guy, because people. He was a very well-known guy. He made a very famous product everyone knew. And it's just a matter of time before the wrong guys find you.
Yep.
And especially right now, man, let's look at the economy. The economy is tough. People are struggling. And when people are struggling, and then the gap between people that are doing great and people who are struggling gets bigger, bad things happen.
Yeah.
I'm not a socialist. I'm not saying, like, I'm a capitalist through and through. But I also think that it's dangerous when you have a massive gap between people who have it and people who don't have it.
Yep.
Because people who don't have it will do whatever they have to do. And as a father and a husband, I'm not advocating it. But like, if I was in a position that that's the only way I can feed my kids are getting fed.
Yeah.
100%.
So I'm not advocating it. I'm not at all advocating it. What I'm saying is be careful, because
He's about to rip his shirt off right now.
what I'm saying is people like that. People
That's
like,
all I look forward to all the time.
those days are gone, man. But people will do that. So you just got to be very, very cautious.
Yeah.
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 No, that's an interesting subject too, because marketing yourself is very tricky nowadays, right? People will attack you, say this and that, you're cocky, this, that. I feel like nowadays too, everyone's just looking for an excuse to attack you.
Yeah.
I can't even. You know what's crazy is, I went to Dutch Bros a couple weeks ago to get coffee, and there was a gentleman working, the cashier, and I said, "Thank you, bro." He's like, I'm not a bro. I identify as XYZ.
Oh,
and I was just like,
go here on this.
I was like, I don't know. I was like,
we're gonna stay away from this today.
yeah, and I was like, I didn't know what to say. I just said thank you and walked away, right? Yeah. After he went off on me. And it's crazy, like modern day, like you can't even have conversations without people without pissing them off. Now, marketing people, like how many companies have you seen get canceled for just minor mistakes? Minor mistakes, people take it to a whole different level. It's so hard being an entrepreneur. That's another aspect of it is people, look, when you're at the top, you can only go down. When you're at the bottom, you can only go up, right? Everyone wants to snatch your crown, right? Everyone wants to be in your place, right? And that's what people don't really understand is when you're at the top, you can only go down.
So it's funny you say that, because it's a good pivot transition. So we just had a conversation recently at Cymbiotika, and we're talking about a certain product line that one of our folks really wanted to pursue. But it was a very controversial product line. And so we made the decision, or I made the decision, that we're not doing that because we're scaling the company at such a great level right now.
Yeah.
There's no reason to take unnecessary risk. Like, this is part of like running a company, being an entrepreneur. Yeah. Every decision you make should have risk reward, upside, downside mechanism.
For sure.
Like, that goes for life, by the way. Which, by the way, we never did that when we were young. It was just upside, and we just do it.
no fucks given back then.
We went to Vegas one time, and we were trying to.
Let's not talk about the old days.
I got to say this one.
Just kidding.
I'm gonna leave some details out because it just will be bad for me. But we're at Hard Rock or something at the bar, and we're trying to get attention of these folks, and we decided that Ali was gonna be an Arab sheik billionaire, and a couple other friends of ours, big guys, which you know really well, were his bodyguards,
security guards.
And I was going to play as the representative of this group, and so we did it for like 2 days, and it worked perfectly. Like, it was an amazing hustle.
Everyone believed it, bro.
We didn't pay for a drink for like 2 days, and
everything was on the house.
It was fantastic. But anyways, back then there was no upside downside.
Yeah.
But any decision you make should be upside downside.
Yeah. And
like Bud Light, for example. Not getting into the political. I don't want to share my views on this thing, but I will tell you, just pure tactically, forget like your political beliefs or your beliefs are on this particular topic, which my beliefs are like everyone should live their life, whatever makes them happy. Like everyone gets one life. No one should tell anyone else how to live their life. It's it is what it is. But tactically, that was an unnecessary risk, because the upside downside analysis would say, how much bigger can Bud Light get?
Yeah.
The downside is you can get much smaller than you are. So, like, in business decisions, sometimes you got to be very careful, because you got to, like, at Cymbiotika, we want to stay true to who we are as a company. But you have to be aware of what Omar's talking about here. Like, there is hypersensitivity right now both ways. I don't care if you're a liberal, you're uber conservative. you're going to piss off one group. Like, we become very divided as a country.
Yeah.
So because of that, if you make one wrong decision, you're alienating half of the country. So how do you do that? How do you stay organic and real and true and not lose half of your customer base? It's a tough one. I don't have an answer for that. We're doing our best. I think everyone's trying to do their best. I'll say as a general rule of thumb, I believe everyone should be happy and live their life the way they want to live it. And I'll leave it there. But beyond that, it's a tough balancing act, man. Like, I don't want any piece of any of this stuff. Like, I want to stay out of it, and I want to teach my kids to be good people and treat everyone with respect, and we're going to leave it there.
That's it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I feel like everything now is just built to divide us. Everything, and it's so hard.
Well, there's money in that, though.
Yeah.
There's tons of money in division, man, because, like, you'll see companies are now popping up and become en vogue. Just track this as you go along. They'll take extreme positions. Actual companies will. They will play extreme positions politically and say, we are this. Screw these other guys. We are this. Because they'll play the game of, we don't want all the customers. We'll take 100% of the small percentage.
Yeah.
And so that's unfortunately where we're headed. But they do that because there's money in it.
Yeah.
Like, people should be always aware, decisions that are being made, like in your words, divide the country. It's not tactic. They're made tactically because we're suckers for it, man. Like, we're really good at this. We're good at, we come from tribes. So we're good at taking, very small positions. Like, this is my tribe, that's your tribe. Fuck your tribe. My tribe is the best tribe. And then the problem with that position is you never take the time to think about the other person's point of view or perspective. Like, think about any conflict you've ever had or disagreement. If you're honest with yourself, and I just want to speak on my behalf. I've never had a dispute with someone where I've been 100% right, they've been 100% wrong. Ever.
Right.
Very true.
If I'm honest with myself.
Yeah.
But we don't take that position. We think the other person is 100% wrong and we're 100% right.
Yeah.
The reality is probably somewhere in the center, man, because most arguments have to do with your perspective. And we all have different perspectives. We have different upbringing, backgrounds, you name it. We're all different. So our viewpoint is different. So, like, how could be 100% right when your views and my views might be 100% different?
Yeah.
So I think we just take a step back a little bit, take a deep breath, understand there's forces at play here that want to divide us, and our perspectives are different, but at the core, I think most people want the same things. They want to live a healthy lifestyle. They want to be good people. They want to love their significant other. They want to have beautiful children who live a long time and they're happy and they have opportunity. We share all those things in common. That's all that really matters.
Damn. That was some wise ass words.
Yeah.
There it is. Say it again.
Thank you.
No, that was awesome. Yeah, it's true though. Yeah, he's right.
That's huge. No, that's huge. I'm now you got me thinking. I'm just like,
Yeah, I'm just sitting here literally just thinking in my head.
yeah, it's
like,
it saddens me because my kids, we have events in my house all the time for the kids. And if you take a step back and I do this, I've tried to become more present and like just observe things.
Yeah.
And I look back around and I see every color imaginable kid is there with every background, every type of parent, and the kids don't give a shit. Yeah. Like we introduce race as an issue.
We do.
We introduce religion as an issue.
We do.
We introduce sexual orientation as an issue. The kids don't give a shit.
They don't.
All they care about is Susie is nice to me. Tommy is cool.
Yeah.
So they play like there's boys and girls and they play around, have a great time. Yeah. We're the ones that get in the way. They don't give a shit. All they care about is if so-and-so is nice to them, they have fun together. Now imagine if adults participated that way. Like, I don't give a fuck who you are. If you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. If we have fun together, this is great. Yeah. We don't have a single problem in this world. Yeah. So the problem is we fuck things up with the kids. They're way ahead of us when it comes to human interaction. Yeah. Put 10 kids together in a room they've never met. They're best friends in 30 seconds. Put 10 adults, especially guys. Like go to a restaurant or bar, go to a club, and like a bunch of guys walk in. You spend the first hour mad dogging everyone for no apparent reason. Like we introduce this negative energy. Like
it's so true.
You were calling it a vibe earlier. No, like we introduce negative vibes. The kids don't have that in their DNA.
It's true. I mean, even in business or a bar, the first thing I do, I look in a room and I look at the hierarchy. I look at who's number 1 to number 100, right? Yeah. And same with the bar. I look to the left. I'm like, yo, I could probably kick that guy's ass. So, like, we're good. I could probably kick that guy. That guy looks like he fucked me up.
I'm not judging. I mean, we were the same way. I mean, by the way, all the stuff I'm saying, I'm not speaking on behalf of, like, I've solved, like, all the human crises. Yeah. I've made every single one of these mistakes. Ali's been there for 70% of the mistakes I made in my life.
It was good times. But it was
he's probably, like, encouraging you to do it.
It was a good time.
No, I was always a mellow, peaceful guy.
Ali was actually just looked scary, but because he was like big old buff and tatted up. But he was never like he never brought that.
I never started trouble. Shahab would be the first one to rip his shirt off.
You've been talking about that a lot, bro. Shahab ripping his shirt off. I feel like you're hinting towards
I'm
something.
just saying. I said I was waiting for him to rip his shirt off when he walked in.
I'm retired from those things, man. I'm done.
Yeah, we've hung up our jerseys. I hung up my old jerseys too. I'm done.
I'm done, man.
Yeah.
I'm done.
But you kind of touched on something too: the kids, the family, the personal life. Is there some sort of tactic or strategy that you use to kind of balance that? And I know before the podcast, we kind of were talking about that. It's like, look, you're very healthy. You go to the gym. You have a balanced life with, being there for your kids, personal life with your friends, your relationship. Like, is there something that you do that would be good advice to, fellow entrepreneurs that are getting there? Because I've been in that, like, tunnel, when you're in tunnel vision where I'm like, I just want to work. I don't see my family for 3 months. I don't want, everyone's been there, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel
still do it some days, though,
Yeah.
but I'm just like, just work.
Yeah.
So I'm going to preface this by saying, again, whatever feedback, I'm not going to say advice, I'm giving, it's worked for me. It doesn't mean like I figured out everything. I hate that level of ego. For me, I realize balance is complete bullshit. It's a bullshit thing that people think they try to strive for. It doesn't exist. What is balance? What does balance mean? Balance means if you have 6 things in a pie, that everyone gets the same equal amount. That's impossible.
Impossible.
That's right? It's balance is absolutely, it's a misnomer. It's a mirage. Yeah. What I've realized is I got to prioritize. It's different than balance. It's completely different than balance. So I have to give a chunk of my day every day to work because I run multiple companies. How could you run companies without being there? So that takes a big chunk out already. My health is important because I want to be around for my kids. So the first thing in the morning, my wife and I go to the gym early in the morning. That prioritize that time. When I come home, though, I don't work anymore. Now, am I giving up something for work? 100%. That's why it's not balanced. It's Newton's third law Newton's third law says for every action is the opposite and equal reaction. All that means is every decision you make has a negative consequence whether you want it or not. So those hours when I can't come home from work and I refuse to work anymore, I'm losing money. Yeah. I'm losing money because I could be doing more for my companies. But I've decided to lose that money because I want to spend time with my family. But that's where the honesty comes from. Like, what are you willing to give up for what? Yeah, if you want to just be rich, or if you want to generate nothing but wealth, generational wealth, then have no relationship, do nothing but work. Yeah. Look at most of these billionaires. They're very eccentric because all they do is work. Yeah. But that's what they're willing to give up because they want the $500 million yacht like Bezos just got. So for me, I'm willing to carve out money, lost money. It's called opportunity cost. You're familiar with opportunity cost, business mechanism? And business opportunity cost means whatever you're doing here, you could be doing here, so you're going to lose this, whatever that thing is. So when I spend time with my kids, I'm losing money. When I'm spending time at work, I'm missing time with my kids. Yeah. So there's no balance. It's just prioritizing what's important to you as a human being. For me, there's nothing more important. My wife is number one. My kids are right there with my wife, number two. My parents, my friends. And then I worry about the rest of the stuff later.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of how I am. It's just family first and health, right? If you have your family and your health, you can get back. If you lose everything today, you can get it back tomorrow as long as you have good health. The rest is bullshit.
Right? I'm telling you, man. When I was younger, I was so obsessed with cars. I wanted cars. Like, it was like my thing. I wanted a Ferrari. And then I got one. And after like 2 months, I'm like,
well, you were the first one that got a Porsche, and everyone was like, "Oh, Shahab got a Porsche."
But my point is, like, when I reached this level, like my dreams, my dream car, right? Yeah. I realized it was great for like the first couple of months, and it just sat there. Why? Because it's a 2-seater. Yeah. I have a wife and two beautiful daughters. Yeah. They can't fit in the Ferrari. Nope. So it just sat there. So I'm like, maybe it's the wrong Ferrari. So I slowly got a better Ferrari. That same fucking thing happened. Then I got the SVJ. Same fucking thing happened. Same shit. So these things that we're obsessed with, and by the way, I'm not, like, I don't want to sound I'm judged. I have all this stuff. I like watches too. I like all this nice stuff.
Yeah. That's a nice watch.
Everyone, I know.
Yeah, what is that? Right? What kind of Patek?
Yeah, boy. He's like, I don't know, just 150,
it's just a watch.
Maybe two.
My point is, everyone likes the nice stuff, but it's just stuff, man. Yeah. I'm telling you, just if there's one thing that you take away from this, believe me, it's just stuff. It means fucking nothing. Yeah. Absolutely nothing. I never think about any of my stuff when I'm laying in bed at night with my girls. I go tuck them in. I lay with them for a little bit, read them a book. I don't think about any of my stuff. None of my stuff, because they don't give a shit either, by the way. They just want time with mom and dad. Yeah. When I'm with my wife, I don't care about any of the stuff. The things I do want to spend money on is things that give me time back. Like, I'll spend money on a private jet because it gives me time back. I never post it. I don't care about the flex. It means fucking nothing to me. I don't do the walk up that people like to do. Get no judgment out there. People do it. Like,
I think I got a couple of those videos.
Yeah, you got a couple of them. But listen, I know why you do it. I know why you do it because there's a strategy there for what you're trying to brand. Yeah. I get that. But for me, I'll spend money on stuff that buys me time back. Because now I don't have to be at the airport an hour and a half early. When I land, you can get right off. So you save 2.5, 3 hours on of my life that I can buy back. Because you can't buy time back most times.
Nope.
There's very few things you can spend your money on that buys time back. A private jet is one of them. You buy time back. So these days, the transactions are easy for me. If I can't buy time with it, I probably don't want it.
That's an interesting concept.
It is.
I was thinking for time, tax write-offs and stuff.
That's all money, though.
Yeah.
I mean, like, dude, if it just becomes a P&L, a money issue, there's no end to it. Like you and I were talking about leveling up to what level?
Yeah.
To what's enough? What's bigger? Warren Buffett, Bezos, Elon Musk. Like there's always going to be a higher level to level up financially. So what level is enough level? Yeah. What do you need?
Yeah. And it's crazy because I think it was on Instagram or TikTok or something. I was looking at if someone bases their success off of, X amount of money, numbers are infinite. You'll never be. It's never gonna end. That thirst for success will never end. And that's another good question. When's enough? When's enough? I've actually asked this to a lot of friends. I have a couple billionaire friends, and I've asked them that. And what's crazy is two of them actually had a very similar answer. He said, "When your work becomes a job," he's like, "When what you do on the daily becomes a job." They're like, that's enough. Like, and I kind of agree with that. Like right now, it's just like, I feel like when I work and stuff, it's social hour. I go hang out with other people that are doing business. We grab, I think on the daily, I have like lunch 7 times a day.
He does.
I just literally go and have lunch and then
he tells me I'm so busy. I can't respond. I'm so busy. And I watch his story and he's like eating somewhere. I'm like, bro, you're that busy? You can't respond? You're bad.
That's business.
I agree with that, but I think that's from a perspective, Omar, that you're not married yet with kids.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's a little different. For me, it's can I buy my time back? Yep. So when I get to a point financially where certain people in my life have to be secure, my parents have to be secure financially, which I help them and they're good. My wife's parents have to be secure financially. We help them and they're good, but I want them to be like good. I want, if God forbid I'm not on this planet tomorrow because unfortunately Middle Eastern genetics, man, we all have bad hearts and things happen.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
We're good.
But if something happens, my wife and kids are good. And so we talked about, why retire. It's one, I think at some point you got to take chips off the table. Yeah. Like every time you leave money in the pot, I don't care how talented you are. We talk about all those companies that went bankrupt. Yep. You give yourself the possibility of losing it all. Yeah. Now, it's not about living in fear. It's just being smart and tactical. Like every company who thought they would never go down went down. Every empire in the history of the world, the Romans went down, the Persians went down, the Greeks went down. Every company at some point will have their day. Apple right now is on top of the world, right? At some point, I know it sounds crazy, they won't.
Yeah.
May not be in a lifetime, but at some point they won't. Just like Motorola ran everything for 50 years, and who uses a Motorola phone anymore? And so, Blockbuster, we all, you're too young, but we lived in Blockbuster time, and it was gone. So for me, I want to take chips off the table when I think I have enough to be able to have generational wealth for my kids, my parents, my wife's parents, my wife. If something happens to me, I'm good. Yeah. That's it. So the first thing actually, ironically enough, when you meet with a wealth management person, private wealth management people, so I met with like Goldman Sachs and Blackstone and these guys, they have you outline what you want in your life, like financially what you need. And then you reverse your engineer, is that enough to that number? Because they'll do models for you and it says, like, if you give us this much money, and we're going to have this much money, a profit of a year you can take out and play with, right? So this is how much money will be left. So you reverse engineer and say, this is what I want in my life. I want the private plane, or if I want to buy my parents a home or my in-laws a home, et cetera, this is how much money you need. So I think it's a mathematical equation that says, you do the math and says, this money is enough to last the rest of my life and for my kids. Yeah. But if you start chasing like this infinity number, you'll never ever have it, and then you wind up dead with nothing.
Yeah.
You're always chasing too.
That's the worst. That's the worst. Is just getting lost in that chase of
Yeah.
It's a drug like any other drug, man. The only difference is you can't OD on it, and so you just keep going, and you go and go. And I was guilty of this for a very long time too, where just nothing was enough.
Yeah.
Because everything I bought, I wanted something better. Kept upgrading cars and kept upgrading homes and kept at some point like, this is great. Like this is enough for me. Yeah. Every time we moved into a home, the last 4 homes, it's been our dream home. Like the current one.
And then you're like, I need another one.
Well, like at some point, that's enough. Like you can, if you have an imagination, then you'll never have your final dream home because you'll always think of a better one.
Yeah, it's crazy because a lot of the younger guys that I kind of mentor for e-commerce, right?
Yep.
they come out, you know, they went from making $2,000 a month to $20,000 to $40,000 a month, right? And I tell them, like, yo, enjoy the process. Don't go buy your dream house. Go buy an apartment, grow slowly, enjoy the process. Because if you go buy the nice car right now and you go buy your dream house, what are you going to do? You're going to get bored and you're going to get into trouble. What else is there to do? I feel like it's a process. You got to grow. And people skip that. People skip getting an apartment with your significant other, going through that growth process, going through the struggles, and they just buy what they want, you know? And then what do you do once you get everything?
I think you're right, but I have a little different view on it. I actually think go buy what you want to buy, enjoy your life. Yeah. Like go rent one of these motherfuckers. If you want to have if you never experienced a Lambo, you got to drive a Lambo. Have you ever driven a Lambo? Yeah. You have, right? Yeah. It's an experience. You got to drive a Lambo. You got to hear that sound behind you. And so enjoy life. No one's saying like I'm not one of these old guys that go get off my lawn and you know, save every penny you get. No, man, enjoy your life. Life is short. It's finite, and no one knows what that number is. You know what's a trippy exercise if you ever feel demotivated? Have you seen those calendars that have the weeks of your life left?
With the black dots or whatever? Yeah.
That's a mind fuck, ho. Have you seen those things? No. So you buy them, you put on your wall, and it goes to 90 years old. So assumes you're going to live till 90. And each round circle is a week of your life. So every week that goes by, you fill one of those circles in. Yeah. So you see the circles start to deplete because over time there's less and less circles left. Oh, shit. So you look back in a couple of months, like, oh my God, I was here and I don't have this much of life. Now I have this much of life left. So life is finite and we don't even know when it ends. So my view is go enjoy it, but don't let that financial chase consume you, because it consumed me, and maybe there's people out there stronger than me, but I got consumed by it like in the worst way, and everything in my life for a few years became like, what more better shit can I acquire? Yeah. And having kids changed a lot of that because it gives you real view perspective. Yeah. Just go enjoy life, man. Enjoy every ounce of it. Buy everything you want to fucking buy. Go buy the cars. Go buy the watches. Go rent a bunch of these fucking things from Ali. Yeah. Enjoy it. Go on the trips. Go buy the private jets or rent the private jets. Whatever you can afford, go do it. But that can't be the reason you're here on this planet. Yeah. The reason we're here is not restricted to how much money do you have. I was on a flight, an Emirates flight, first class. And this guy in front of me, I shit you not, I was going to go over there and fucking slap him in the face.
And he would.
30 times he opened his laptop up and checked his bank account because he was so consumed. Because, you know, he's on Wi-Fi sitting in front of me to the right. And he had kept up, like refreshing. And it seems like there was a bunch of money. It was like $30-some million in there. But you could tell in his life, the only thing he had was this money. And all that mattered to him was this chase. Yeah. And don't do that. Because we're here for more than that reason, man. Life is fucking beautiful, man. Yeah. Life is beautiful. Love hard. Enjoy experiences. My wife and I have a family mantra. And we say life is nothing more than except relationships and experiences. Yep. If you don't maximize these two things, relationships and experiences, who gives a shit how much money you have? You've lost. You're a fucking loser in life if all you have is your money.
Yeah.
I agree, man.
It's that simple. I feel like life is simple, but we complicate it. It just, I mean, you just, you know, when Shahab speaks, I sit there and I think.
I know. I'm just sitting here, just quiet, thinking. He's right.
I gotta change up a couple.
He's a wise man, bro. He's been through a lot.
I've been through a lot. It's a difference.
Yeah, that's good.
I failed a lot. You know a lot of my life. Yeah. You know everything in my life. I fell on my face many, many times, in a lot of terrible ways. I will never say on a podcast. I don't want my parents to hear. But I went through some shit, man. I've been through some shit, and you know I've survived it, and then so you come out the other side better for it.
Yeah. What's kept you motivated through all the downfall?
My wife, man.
Yeah.
My wife, man.
That's your rock, huh?
Damn.
I pray for all my close friends.
Don't be getting teary-eyed, bro. You're getting me teary-eyed a little bit.
Allergies. It's time of year. You got those flowers and stuff.
It's snowing.
You gave me this Armenian cognac. Weird stuff is happening. So, you know, what I wish for all my close friends, my brothers, is to find a person in their life that gives them clarity. Yeah. Like perspective. God damn, my wife is amazing, man.
She was always on point, though.
My wife has given me such clarity in life, dude. Such absolute direction.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's huge.
That is awesome. I can't wait to have Durana on the podcast.
Oh, she's way better than me, dude. She'll come here and she's going to make me.
I know. She's going to school everybody. Yeah. I already know.
Yeah, she's going to make me look bad.
Because when we talk here and there, she just like schools my ass. I'm like, goddamn woman.
She's
She's a wonder, bro. She's a wonder.
We need some tissues. Daniel. Can you
get
him some tissues?
Don't make it all dramatic, man. I told you fucking allergies on Armenian cognac. It's a bad combination.
He's very teary-eyed.
Thank you very much. You guys made it so dramatic. Thank you, thank you. You got to cut this entire part out now.
Nope. We're gonna put this as a.
But you know what it is? Like, she's the greatest mother you can ever see to our girls. She's the best daughter-in-law to my mom, greatest wife to me, best friend. She's my business partner. So every one of my companies, Duran is the chief operating officer.
Yeah.
I want to do a company without her because she's the smartest person I know. Yeah. So find yourself a partner in life that gives you that kind of motivation, man.
Yeah.
Like, there's times, like anyone else, I just don't have it that day, man. I'm done. I'm just drained. But I think about her, and I'm like, I can let myself down easily. I've let myself down many times before in life, but I'm never letting her down, dude. Yeah. Never. There will never be a second in time I let her down, ever. So it's easy when sometimes when it's just yourself, it's easy to let yourself down.
Yeah.
You have a tough day, you stay in bed a little bit longer, you miss the gym, whatever. But when you have that motivation that says, I'm not missing the gym because I don't want her to be living life without me there to support her. I'm not missing work because I want my family to live the dream they've always wanted. So find that person, man. It gives you, you want that instruction, that playbook earlier, that's the playbook. That's step 1 through 5 is that person.
Makes sense. I mean, again, social media. I always go on there, I see these things. It said, I mean, the best.
That's where you find this guy. Yeah. If I ever need to get a hold of him, I just DM him. That's the only time he gets back to me.
His consistent with his stories, bro. I've never seen someone more dedicated to live. It's almost like a live stream, really. Yeah. It's not even stories. It's one live stream for the course of the day.
I feel like that's how people find where I'm at. They're like, all right, he's having lunch over there. You got to go over there. But it's crazy that there's a correlation with, your significant other. That's probably the most important investment you can make in life. And, I hear this back to back to back. Women will either make you or break you. And it's crazy, and but it's hard. Especially that's a whole. I don't even want to open that door on finding the right woman. Now, especially with nowadays, it's.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna even go that. We'll go back
especially
to
out here.
Yeah.
Especially out here.
I mean, I got mine early.
Yeah.
I cashed out early.
Yeah, he was on it.
23 years. It'll be 23 years this August.
That's crazy. Yeah. It's been that long.
That long.
And hopefully another 100 years.
Yeah.
That's yeah, for sure.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, but Durana, I've hung out with Shahab and Durana multiple times over dinner. Phenomenal, man. Always on point. The same with Shahab. They say like a couple words and it makes you rethink your whole life. I'm like,
you do.
We're at Javier's, they give me 5 words of advice. I'm like, oh shit.
Omar, you for your age, by the way, this kid
I know
is way ahead of both of us.
I know.
Oh, your thing is you're exponentially ahead of anyone I've seen personally in my life at your age. As long as you can keep it together. Yeah. Not that you're not, but now you're getting to the danger zone now. The danger zone of like you're public, you're very public, you got money, you're doing great.
Yeah.
And you're gonna start getting, attention from all sorts of people, women, business people, and you just gotta have your radar up all the time.
Yeah.
But the beauty of this is I got such good people around me, right? I got you, Ollie, I got other friends that have went through it, and when you have good friends and that good tribe around you, they really look out for you, and they'll call you out on it. Like
he will for sure.
Yeah, he for sure will. And like, I have a bunch of great friends, and like, they don't filter shit out. They're like, yo, like, this girl's horrible for you. This business is horrible. Don't fucking do it. You're an idiot, right? And I feel like I got very blessed where I have the right group of people around me that have guided me, and I've learned from them.
Yeah.
But no, I appreciate the kind words, and it's crazy. Like, we're very blessed with our circle of friends we have, man. Everyone's so good to each other.
And we've been together for so long.
That's the key.
Yeah.
The intention. Their intention. You know what I mean? Like, I know the intention.
Yeah.
So I never make it up to here, but when Ali calls, I come. because I know this man's heart. This man's heart is unique.
Thank you.
I was surprised when you told me Shahab was coming down. I was like, oh, bro, I'm running. I'm coming, bro.
You did.
When you know Ali as long as I have, his character.
Yeah.
I was asked recently what I thought of one word to describe leadership. I said character. Like this guy's a leader because his character is solid. Like in 25 years you can't find a chink in his armor. Like that means you can fake it for a while. You can't fake it for 25 years. This man is
just
who
gave
he
me
is.
goosebumps.
I mean, that's what I love you for. I love you for it because your character is unbreakable. That means the world to me.
No, I appreciate that. I've always looked up to you. I mean, I wish when I was younger I had your work ethic. I'd probably be somewhere else, but I got caught up in that party life. I enjoyed the life,
You did.
I did.
You did.
And you know,
But you're crushing it, Ellie. Like
there-
it all
there's-
happens at the time it's supposed to happen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's why all these kids that think they gotta be like millionaires at 20 is like, bro, take your time. Like he's already way ahead, like you said. You know. How old are you?
30.
32.
Yeah.
30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
30. I don't even know what I was doing. I was still.
I know what you're doing. 30. I don't want to say it on this podcast.
I was still.
See, I got lucky. When I was 13, I had a mustache, full beard, so I had my cousin's ID. So I got all that stuff out of my system at a young age, right?
But you also think about the world in a different way. Like you move back with your parents, right? Because like financially you can go live wherever you want. But your character is different. That's your superpower.
For sure.
What's happening now though, Ho? You touched on it. Is I call Hojat Ho. It's just our old name, sorry. When you look back on what's happened in social media and this like false perception of how successful people are, like these kids that are putting these videos out, we know some of these kids. They don't have nearly what they put out there that they have. They have nothing.
Of course.
They'll come and rent a car from Ali and they'll borrow someone else's watch and they'll make a whole video and they're like, oh my God, I got drives a Lambo. Where's a Patek? He's doing great.
Yeah.
And so just be weary of be careful of what you see out there. Because there's a lot of mirages out there, man. It's like, look here, and then they're doing something else with this hand. It's not real. Like, to me, real tangible wealth, if you want to build wealth, it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen. I know I'm sounding like the old guy. I'm sorry, guys. If there's probably young people are watching, like, I want the 3 things. I want to write down. I'm going to be a millionaire tomorrow. It's not like that, man. It takes time. You got to put in work. You got to sacrifice. You got to be dedicated if you want to build wealth. If you're just trying to make a bunch of money, you could do crazy hustles. There's a billion hustles you can make a bunch of money. But you want to build wealth, it takes time and effort and dedication and sacrifice. That's all it is. That's the formula. No matter what you do.
Yeah.
God damn.
I think people are gonna really appreciate this podcast because it's the raw truth, and this is the aspect of business people don't really emphasize on because they just want to hear about the fast money, the fast life, this, that. But this is the reality of it. This is what you go through, and it doesn't matter. Like what we're speaking about, people went through this 100 years ago in business. It happens. It's business. I think has a couple core principles and foundations. If you know how to do X, Y, and Z in business, you can jump into any business.
I agree with
Everything just has a couple fundamentals and the consistency, right? Consistency in being there. Efficiency is another big one, right? I always put a big emphasis on efficiency, right? Just because you show up 18 hours a day doesn't mean shit, right? You could put a dog behind a fucking desk for 18 hours. It doesn't mean anything if they're not efficient with their time, right?
Yeah.
Efficiency is huge, and people don't really talk about that. Some people are so efficient they can do what someone does in 18 hours in 1 hour, right? And that's one of my strategies actually for companies. Anytime I open a company, the first thing I do is I always hire the laziest people. Why? They find the fastest way to do things, but they're not consistent. Over time, I'll bring in consistent people who will do it. Have you ever seen, lazy people will surprise you. Like sometimes at when I open up warehouses, right? I hire lazy people. I'll be shocked at the shit that they find out and how to do it so fast, right?
Yeah.
And
they don't want to work.
No, they don't want to work. But the thing is, they're not
They figure out how to do shit.
Yeah, they'll do it for
we're not even thinking about
I've
it.
been doing it wrong this whole time. I hire like hardworking people. I gotta run. Okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of how I've always
like
done it. And so, but the thing is, though, after like 3 months, they fall off. And then once they build the infrastructure and the SOPs and all that stuff, then you find the people who are, have the consistency, right? Yeah. But that's kind of how I've always done it with like businesses and stuff.
Like going back to some of these like infomercials or training courses, take a step back. A bunch of brilliant people out there. Just look at the data they provide you and do that math. Like there was some real estate thing. The guy goes, over 100,000 of these people have sold. Like, in other words, 100,000 people participate in my program. That's a lot, okay? Then they show the same 3 people over and over again that hit it big. So do the math. So 3 of 100,000. If they had more, they would show more people.
Yeah.
They had like multiple ads run with the same 3 guys.
Yeah.
So 3 people out of 100,000 hit it.
Yep.
So there is no magic bullet except for hard work. If you want to throw efficiency, I would throw passion in there too.
Passion's huge.
Like you gotta live it. Like just checking the box won't do it.
Yeah.
Your heart and soul's got to be in it, man. You got to feel it. We talked about the pain earlier. When the pain comes, you gotta embrace it, man. You gotta love it. I love it, dude. The entrepreneur world for me, I love it. I love every ounce of it.
I know.
Even when I lose, I love it. I love it because it becomes a challenge. It drives me crazy that someone out there beat me.
Yeah.
I don't want to put them in the grave, so I want to find them and hunt them down.
That's how it was when I was at the bank for 12 years.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, why don't you just be at the bank and not struggle and just like, because I love going through the struggles. It's what makes me me.
Yeah.
And I learned so much, and there's so much that's come from all these struggles that I've had. And if I was still at Wells Fargo or whatever bank, I'd still be doing my 9 to 5, really not doing shit, making probably good money, but not living what I want to live. This, when I mean, when you get a car, everyone dreams about Lamborghinis.
Yeah.
Everyone
Especially this
wants.
one.
They all want to drive. They all want to be in it. And when you see how much it motivates somebody, and that's why I stuck in this industry. Not because money, not because the cars. You can ask anybody. I don't even drive these cars barely ever. Like I took one yesterday to just go get a car wash. I don't even care, But when you see like people that can never be around it, and you feel how excited they are and how motivated they are,
something, right?
Yeah, they're like, "What do I gotta do now?"
Yeah, yeah.
And you're like, "This is why I want to do
Especially one
it."
of these. When you drive one of these, everyone should drive one of these one time.
One time,
It does something to your soul, man.
it does.
At first, and then
And my brother was never a car guy. He's like, "I just don't get it."
yeah.
And I'm like, "There's people that will die for one of these,"
Yeah. This whole entrepreneurial world, it's what it does give you. That's most valuable thing in the world. We talked about this earlier, is your time. If you set it up properly, like my work schedule, I work hard, but not like I used to when I first was grinding. Right, my wife and I get to work in the morning. We drop off our kids, go to work, leave work at 3, pick up our kids. So 8 to 3, 8:30 to 3. That's an easy work day.
Yeah.
So you're buying time back. When we go on vacation, our business is still making money, right? I'm here with you. The business is still generating money. And so the entrepreneurial world, the biggest difference for me, well, really two. One is it makes your brain function differently because you got to get creative, which is harder to do when you're in a construct of a normal company. When you got a normal job, you got a very specific small job, like small duties, and you got to stick within those duties. And they don't even want you to get outside those duties, right? When you're an entrepreneur, you can do anything and everything your imagination can figure out. Yeah. But two, and more importantly, you get your time back, man. It's a time issue. Yeah. Become an entrepreneur. Even if you can make the same money, become an entrepreneur because it's your time. It's the most valuable commodity you could have in your life, which is time. Time.
You'll
There's
never get it back.
You'll never get, like every second we're here together, which has been very valuable. I'm happy and honored to be here. We'll never get this time back. It's over.
No, it's been valuable for us.
For
I
me,
think everybody's going to appreciate
I
this.
enjoyed my time with you guys.
And we definitely need to have you come back. Maybe have Durana back.
I'm not coming back after Durana. She's put me this. I'm telling you, wait till you have her.
I'll wait a few weeks before we bring her.
She inspires me, dude. She inspires me.
She's solid, man. Always been.
Yeah, I think having someone like Durana on the podcast would be phenomenal.
Well, having a female with so much,
Well, you know what's unique about Durana is if you look at the women's movement, what they've had to go through. For a very long time in this country, women were homemakers and had to be homemakers. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with a homemaker, but there was no choice.
Yeah.
Then the women's movement happened, and women started getting into corporate America and companies and leadership roles, and they start crushing it. Like I think 17, 18% of the Fortune.
It was the best time when you were at AT&T and she was at
T-Mobile.
Yeah. You guys are directors head-to-head going.
But so then when all this stuff happened, like 17, 18% of, I think, Fortune 100 companies have women CEOs. They start crushing it. But then many of those women have to give up having a family. What this new generation of women are doing, which is Durana is one of them, is they're saying, I want it all. So Durana is a businesswoman, entrepreneur. She has a nonprofit. She excels in social and all this kind of stuff. She's a public speaker. She does podcasts. But she's the greatest wife, and she's a mother. So, like, she represents this new world of thought where I don't have to pick and choose. Because men never have to choose. Yeah. Men, you could have your company. You could have your wife. You have your kids. It was always, like, easy. It was given to us. Women have to struggle and fight and have to pick and choose. And now they're saying, no, we want it all. And she's one of those people who's kind of not leading the way, but she's amongst that group of women who are doing it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, no, and you guys have done a lot for the community internationally, too. In Afghanistan, you guys had some projects up there as well, right?
Yeah, we built 3 schools. Each time they were burnt down by the Taliban, we rebuilt them. We sent books and chairs and tables and things you wouldn't think about that you would need. We'd send them to Afghanistan. We're working on a virtual university platform so that young girls now can still go to school because they're banned in Afghanistan. Yeah. When the refugees came a couple of years ago, when we left Afghanistan, the U.S. left Afghanistan, we supplied, I think, 250,000 people with clothing and basic necessities that they needed. So we really worked hard there, and that's kind of a passion project for Durana and I, and it's been probably the most fulfilling thing we've done.
That's awesome.
And like post-company, when we eventually retire and exit these businesses, that's going to be our focal point.
For sure. Amazing. well.
There was a lot there, man.
A lot. But yeah, we're good for today. I know you got to get back to business.
Yeah, I got one more meeting up here in Orange County because of you. I scheduled a second one right after
Who
this.
are you meeting?
This known. This person is known. I don't want to say it like that. I'll tell you offline.
All right, cool. Well, we appreciate you making time. Very valuable stuff.
Love you, bro. Good
Thank
seeing
you. I love you always.
Much love for both of you guys.
Nice job, bro.
Yeah, we always do good together. I hope maybe one day we can do a joint venture together. Maybe run everything.
Would you anything? I'll put Omar too.
Well, I appreciate
Omar
it.
drafting off a hose love.
Yeah. Thank you for coming out. We are out today. Thank you, Omar and Shahab Elmi, for coming in. Love you guys. Amazing podcast.
Thank you.